Welcome to BDTV, and today we'll be talking about the energy sector, looking at solar adoption in Nigeria and Africa at large. My name is Abubakar Ibrahim, an energy correspondent and journalist for Business Day, and we have a team from SinaChi SAS who are here to talk to us about solar energy adoption in Nigeria and Africa, the reason why we've been having gaps, slow adoption, and also the opportunities and offerings that they have for the Nigerian public. Without further ado, we have Dr. Joseph Agu, who is the president of SinaChi SAS, and Dr. Neshi Ezeako, who is a director in the organization, and Mr. Uzo Okeke, who is a partner with SinaChi SAS when it concerns installation and manufacturing. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having us.
All right. So I'll start with you, Dr. Agu. I would like you to walk us through the journey of SinaChi SAS, where you start, so why did you start, and what has been the experience so far?
Thank you. I am an IT and energy expert interested in contributing to the energy problems in Nigeria. The journey has been very long. Okay, but it's started concretizing itself when the cost of off-grid solar solutions became affordable, so that people in Africa can afford it. And but then the journey, the evolution of the technology developed from small systems that were not of business use to what we have today, having solar solutions that are powering commercial and industrial applications. But that requires a different level of professionalism, which doesn't exist today, and quality of products. So SinaChi was curated to address this gap. So we focus on end-to-end capability development of solar solutions. And we also try to address the quality of products in this area, which is basically the energy storage component of the solution. So that is the area of SinaChi. I might give more details as the need arises during the discussion.
All right, thank you very much. I can move to Dr. Ezeako now, and I want her to talk to us about what she does in the energy space, and coming from Rwanda. Why Rwanda? Why not Nigeria?
Excellent question. Thank you. Yes, I am the managing director and CEO of Mirasire Energy Limited Rwanda. Mirasire is a Kenya-Rwanda word that stands for sun radiation. And we deliberately created that company because basically the system in Rwanda, the policy, the government policy, the environment was conducive for renewable energy. So we chose to use Rwanda as our hub. And there is from Rwanda to the rest of Africa. Yes, some people have asked why Rwanda is a small market, and compared to Nigeria, the consumption and consuming power is limited. The size of the population is less. Yes, that's true. But nonetheless, there's a deliberate policy in Rwanda to actually encourage green energy, to actually encourage renewable energy. A case in point, actually, is the electric vehicle industry, whereby if you import electric vehicles into Rwanda, or even hybrid vehicles into Rwanda, it's at 0% tax. However, if you import diesel-powered vehicles or petrol-powered vehicles, it's at, wait for it, 75%. Wow. So you can see that there's a deliberate policy to encourage renewable energy. So that was a huge attraction.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am, for that short insight. I'll still come back to that because, like you said, we have your numbers, and you talked about policies, and as a driver to making that decision to making Rwanda the hub from where you now spread or supply through the rest of Africa. So, Mr. Okeke, next will be you, and I'm looking at solar installation and also manufacturing in Nigeria, even in Africa, if you were to look at it at large. You are focused on this sector in that regards. What has been the challenges? What has been the opportunities, when it comes to the supply, the demand, and the adoption? You probably, you are the middleman between the organization and the end users to say, what have you experienced?
Thank you very much. That's a good question. The solar adoption rate in Nigeria or timing has come a long way. But as it stands up till this moment, the challenge in the Nigerian markets, which, we are partnering with SinaChi to, deal with, is the issue of quality. There's a lot of failure in installations, that it's an offshoot of experience, information, knowledge, technology, and also the quality of products. These are major issues in the Nigerian market. And that has, brought us to a place where very many Nigerians do not even believe or know that solar, installations could deliver and really deliver, no matter the size, starting from normal basic home use to commercial and probably industrial, because of these issues. So we are partnering with SinaChi to fill in this gap, make sure, people understand what is possible and deliver on what is possible. So that's our part in this market. And then we also represent some manufacturers. But, the truth, like I said, is there's a lot of deficiency in the area of quality of products.
Right. So I'll stick with you. You represent manufacturers. So obviously, there are some components that you need to bring in from other countries. So how has been your experience with custom and also quality assurance?
Well, those are some of the major challenges of the environment that we operate in. Quality assurance, it's neither here nor there. Basically, there are a few products in the market that meets quality standards. And then maybe as this conversation continues, you'll be able to understand why we are now moving our focus in partnership with SinaChi, because of that information gap, technology, and quality of products, so that we are able to come up with installations that you can go to bed and say, this is what it is. And, before now, it's difficult to give certain level of warranty with installations, but working with them, we're able to, for the first time in Nigerian markets, be able to give warranties of 10 years and above on installations. That is the first time in this market.
That's a very big feat, if you should ask me. And we're talking about solar, we're talking about renewable energy, we're talking about energy transition. And we all know that Nigeria is a petrol-run country per se, because the average man out there has a small generator that's using petrol to power his barbing saloon. The other guy on the roadside prefers petrol, tricycle, motorcycle, and all of that. So, and now from what you just said, I think more of advocacy is needed. So what's is going on in that space, especially when it comes to advocacy, Dr. Jack?
In fact, one of the major products that we sell, if you like, is capability development and knowledge empowerment. You see, when I saw Dr. Agbo again, after many years of not having seen him, and he told me that he had retired from HP France, in Europe. And I said to him, retire? God has invested so much in you, and you have to give back to the African continent because God wants return on his investment. And that's the truth, because when I look at his profile, there are not many Africans that have that experience, that's hands-on experience, that intellectual exposure, that's academic exposure in energy, in solar, in technology, all in one person. So I said, look, the young generation can actually benefit from this knowledge. Impart it to them, and knowing our young people, they're all very brilliant. They will run with it. They will take it far beyond even what you expect. So that's, has been part of our major offerings. In Rwanda, we train engineers, young engineers, to help them to know how to assemble our batteries. In Nigeria, we do the same, and so on. We also have other locations like South Africa, like Uganda, and so on, and we're growing. Okay, so when you talk about advocacy, nobody better to deliver on this advocacy. Also was talking so much about the issue of quality. Quality comes from the place of knowledge. And apart from the battery being the main pain point in terms of the equipment, really in the industry, another main pain point is knowledge gap, like he rightly pointed out. That knowledge gap is a huge difference between someone putting out their investment, as Dr. Agbo will always call it. He says someone has put in an investment and he wants the person to have, value for that investment they put in. Because solar energy actually involves a lot of initial outlay. But the real benefit starts coming after a period of 3 to 5 years. Then you are kind of coasting. You're home and dry. The cost is completely run out when you compare it to what you would have spent on the grid. And then, you are literally having power for free. So if it doesn't get to 3 to 5 years, then there's a big problem, because it means you have to make that investment all over again. And part of the reason that happens is that we have people who just, they're excited because solar works. They install the panels, and then when the panels are installed, there's like, up NEPA or something like that. But at the end of the day, after a year, there's a problem. After 2 years, there's a problem. It shouldn't be. So we want people to enjoy the long-term range. So I also was talking about our 10-year warranty. That is very correct. But in addition to that, the batteries come with a 10-year warranty an ab initio. But with our maintenance contract, we take it to 20 years warranty, because we train the technicians on ground to be able to maintain it locally. Because ordinarily, your warranty, you need to ship your equipment back to the manufacturer. Now we have people on ground who can actually handle the equipment because they've been trained. And that's really a very key differentiator.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jaku. So I'll move to Dr. Agbo now to continue from where you stopped, and that is on the adoption, the acceleration of solar energy in Nigeria. So let's take a background. Last year, the grid fell, or should I say collapsed, 12 times on record in 2024. And this is a nation of over 200 million people. You think that if you're having grid issues, people want to jump on the opportunity to move to off-grid, and because then you can have value for money to some extent. So why is Nigeria, a country of over 200 million people that has grid issues, not adopting solar energy the way you'd have thought? Because if you look at the African Solar Industry Association recent report, Nigeria is number 4 in Africa, fourth to South Africa, Egypt, and Zambia. So what is this problem and what are the likely solutions?
Personally, I think that the first major problem is government policy. In France, where I live, the government subsidizes the installation of solar electricity in residential buildings. In Germany, the government subsidizes not only the installation of the panels, but also it encourages individuals to equip themselves with energy storage facilities so as to kind of liberate the main grid from being overcharged. In Nigeria, I'm not aware of that policy where if you want to install a solar facility in your building, the government will give you some incentive to encourage you to do so. That is one. Then, two is the initial cost of such facilities. Thank God today the prices are coming down, but they're still at that level where it represents a substantial investment on individuals, even on business organizations, to bring out such a huge amount of money to invest in solar electricity. Then the third is this lack of quality. You are investing in a solution that is not reliable, that does not last. You don't. That's value for money. Is not there, and that is what's the key area where SinaChi is actually deeply involved and making all efforts to bridge this gap, because there's a knowledge gap both on the installation side because of poor sizing. There is a shift in mindset that needs to be made. If you are connected to the grid, you power any appliance that you want to power anytime at all when there is electricity. But when you are off grid, you can only use what you can produce. So if you run out, if you consume all that you have produced, you will run out of electricity. So this knowledge gap of actually determining your need from the onset, that now will help to know, okay, what quantity of panels you install, what the number of loads that you can run at the same time, that will help you to size the inverter, okay, and then the storage facilities that you need. If all these things are not getting right properly, you might invest in more in one component and still not get the expected value. So this knowledge gap that is missing is a third point. So, and SinaChi is seriously involved in this capability and knowledge development, as well as trying to devise a means to secure the investments that individuals and organizations make on these solar installations. That would be a more incentive when somebody knows that I invest this amount and I have 10 years warranty or even 20 years warranty end to end. And there is another very important point that people are not yet addressing today. You just make an installation, a solar installation, and the installer installs and goes. Today, if there is a problem on your electricity installation, you might call NEPA or whoever that is responsible. But when you move to off-grid solutions, if anything goes wrong, after the installation and you have paid the installer, it is your full responsibility. You don't have somebody before you to call and say, I don't have light. So SinaChi is introducing this warranty that will cover end-to-end solution for 20 years so that you know what you are investing on and how long it will take you. We think that will encourage people to now adopt these solar solutions.
All right, thank you very much, sir. You've touched practically the reasons for low adoption, what can be done, or what you are doing as a body, as an organization, to see that people see the benefits of your offerings so that they can also jump on solar adoption in the country and at large Africa. So my question then will be on the knowledge gap and also the job. According to ILO, that's the International Labour Organization, as at last year, the renewable energy job in the world is over 60.2 million to be precise. So what are you looking at? What is your organization doing in terms of local? You've talked about having people on ground. What are the numbers? And what are you projecting the numbers could be in the nearest future? So, Dr. Isaac.
In terms of the numbers, we collaborate with partners. Okay, our approach is not to employ 2 million Africans, but rather to empower millions of Africans who can go on and even empower others so that journey goes much further. Okay, so you heard Uzo talking about how he partners with us. He's one of our partners, and it's very important. Every country we go to, we identify a partner at least, and we train them because we want our partners to be knowledgeable. We want our partners. Everybody doesn't have to go and get a doctorate in energy like Dr. Ago. Okay, but from the knowledge that he has, we can communicate that to others and let them add that to what they also have already and take it even further. So that's the approach that we take. And we believe that it's a matter of time. Africa is definitely going to be better for it. But, there's something that Doc always says, that Africa's time for development, the time for Africa to develop has come. But guess what? No European or American or Canadian is coming to develop Africa, not even the Chinese. Okay, it is Africans who must develop Africa. It's all the other countries. It was their people that developed themselves. And that's why SinaChi is actually a development-focused organization. Okay, because our interest really is in ensuring that several of the SDGs, like the ones that have to deal with energy, that has to deal with rural life transformation, actually, they come alive. And it starts with knowledge, because people cannot give what they don't have. It starts with knowledge. And our SinaChi battery, we deliberately created this SinaChi battery with quality cells that ensure that they go that much longer. Quality cells in terms of the fact that they are electric vehicle grade A cells, which are used in Europe and the Americas for electric vehicles. Okay, those are superior cells. Then they are quality cells in the sense that they are brand new. Because another problem in the industry is the issue of the black box, what we like to call the black box. So they deliver to us these black boxes. We don't know what is contained inside, and we dare not touch it because we don't know anything about it. Okay, but we are demystifying that black box, teaching the younger generation that look, these are the cells. Then look, and now put it together yourself. And through guidance, we train them on how to do that. And when they do that, they are comfortable, they are capable. Tomorrow, if there's a problem with a battery, because the batteries have a BMS system, that's the battery management system, okay? You can actually tell from the battery management system which particular cell had the issue. And that's the quality of our offering. Which particular cell had the issue, and they can go and address that problem specifically without shutting down the entire system. So that also speaks to one of the areas of Dr. Agu's competence, which is high availability. He's a high availability expert. Okay, and maybe we'll talk a bit more on that. So the thing is, we really want our continent to have value for money. You know, the money is not easy for us. When we're talking about the price, the Nigerian, even when you mentioned that we're fourth, it looks as if we're doing well, but actually we're very distant fourth. Am I not right?
You're right.
Very distant fourth, you know? So the cost, like Doc said, is part of the problem. And is it because the price of these equipment is going up? On the global market, not at all. On the contrary, the price is on the downward trend. But when you look at our exchange rates, the average Nigerian still earns the naira the way he had ever earned it. He hasn't, his income has not tripled or quadrupled. But now he has to spend more times 5 in order to buy the same dollar. You know, so it's a huge issue. So if he's going to spend that times 5, he had better be getting something really, really good. Something that will last. Something he doesn't have to come back and re-spend again. But let me tell you, that problem is not peculiar to Nigeria. Everywhere we've gone, from Rwanda to Uganda to South Africa, is the same problem. Africa has been the dumping ground for poor quality. And I take also added to that. Africa has been the dumping ground for poor quality. But we at SinaChi, we said enough of that. We are going to actually give Africa the superior quality because our people pay a lot to get it. And once they get it, they should be able to rest, you know, say, I have finally made this investment and I'm good. I don't have to worry about it for 20 years at least.
Thank you very much, Dr. Izabu, for that insight. You speak on Africa being a dumping ground. I think one time back then in secondary school where we have this economic textbook, Africa has always been called a dumping ground for years. I thought by now we should be doing better in terms of quality, and probably before I become a grandfather, we'll be doing better in that regards. It's like an expert that we normally talk to, and he say up Nepal has been over a 50-year problem, and we're still here and we're still talking about energy. So I'll move to you, Mr. Okeke. I asked a question about custom and also bringing in products, components of all this that is needed to install and manufacture the solar appliance, and you didn't give me an answer to that. I'll need you to speak to it. How easy is it for you, your organization, your partnership, to bring in components into the country, manufacture and install?
Well, become issues of importation, the truth is that it could be better, but truly we are not there. Just like Dr. alluded a few minutes ago, the effect of the exchange, it's I don't know the adjective to use. It's terrible. And what that has, the results of that is further decline in quality. Because what happens now is manufacturers will talk to, because let's be honest, the real manufacturers are not in Nigeria. These products come from China. The Nigerian environment is not manufacturing friendly. So most of these products come from China. There are a couple of, assembling going on here, but at the same time, those ones are just pockets. So manufacturers, it happens in China, and the exchange rate has made it more difficult. The cost of clearing has skyrocketed. Cost of shipping has skyrocketed. So for many manufacturers, how do you, find a way to deal with these issues and still be a little bit competitive in the market? The truth is bitter, but the truth is reduction in quality. I give you an example. A few days ago, a customer of mine had a burglary breaking in his compound, and he called me and said, okay, can you send your boys to come and install and improve the lighting in my compound? Because he has a CCTV installation which captured the burglar, but it was not clear enough to be able to identify the person. So I said, okay, no problem, we'll do that. So I sent my boys to go and do it. Now we have those floodlights that came from China, which we have been marketing for a while. But I'll be honest with you, it was when they brought it out from the store to go to install it that I suddenly realized that the length of the cable had reduced by up to 80%. In my conversation with my clients, I told him that those cables are about 15-20 meters long, so we can place the lights here and take the charge to a far distance, whatever. But when they now brought out the new ones we just received, I noticed that the size of the cables have reduced by up to 80%. So I quickly placed a call. I said, why is this going on? The response of the manufacturer is very simple. Costs. We're trying to cut costs because of the burden of the exchange. So now, that is the physical one you could see. What has happened inside the component itself.
Okay, yeah, yes, please.
Yes, can I add to this?
Very important cost factor that is playing a very important and destructive role of the solar energy industry. With respect to energy storage systems, you see, lithium-ion batteries all contain cells. And as Dr. SinaChi pointed out earlier, there are different qualities of these cells, okay? So the grade A cells that are used for electric vehicles, the grade B that are used for energy storage solutions, grade C that are supposed to be scraps. Then these cells, some have been used for some years, 2-3 years, and can be recycled, to be given a second life. In an attempt to reduce cost, some manufacturers not only use low-grade cells, but also use already used cells that I will even say that they are nearly as good as being scrapped. But these cells are put in beautiful boxes and send it to, do you know where? to Africa. And then the user that is going to the market to buy it, we think that he is making a good purchase. We were discussing with one of our customers earlier, late last year. He said, doctor, some of our clients are now moving back to lead acid batteries because after investing that much in lithium-ion batteries, 2-3 years, they start having issues. And when you go to the person that sells it, they say you have to take it back to the manufacturer. So that is better that they use the lead acid battery that they know that will last them for 2 or 3 years, but they will pay less than going to invest in lithium-ion battery that
does not give them value.
This is why in SinaChi batteries, yes, we have pressures from people that sell these cells because the grade A cells are difficult to have because the automobile industries are also competing for that. But we insist that you don't send anything other than those cells that we have validated. And on each of our cells, they come with valid Q codes that tell you the quality of the cell and the date that they were manufactured. So that's guaranteed. That is one. The second point to it is that we try to, please, if you see SinaChi battery in the market, please, it's not SinaChi battery. We work with partners that are quality conscious, that use these batteries for high availability installations that they deliver value. That's the only way we can guarantee that these sales are sales from us and not people that go to manufacture everything, put SinaChi logo on it and sell it to people to make money.
Okay, so in a nutshell, if we are seeing SinaChi battery, say Alaba International or Ladipo,
it's not
SinaChi. Yeah, okay. Unless from your partners.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay.
Exactly. And each partner, we want to. Dr. NH made reference to black box. Yes. Africa cannot develop with this black box mentality that has gone on for over years. Okay. And do you know another important factor is that these manufacturers would like that black box to remain black as long as you don't have the intelligence or courage to and curiosity to open the black box, know what is there, master it, and be able to copy it and improve on it. So that's why you say that Africans can only be developed by Africa and SinaChi Africans and SinaChi batteries is an open box, something. The technicians know how these batteries are assembled, know the components at their fingertips, and can always intervene whenever there is sin. That's why we guarantee 20 years with the maintenance contract with ACE.
All right. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. But before we proceed, I'll need to also get clarity. We've talked about Africa being a dumping ground for most of these low-quality batteries and appliances. And you're also talking about how SinaChi is trying to be at the forefront of driving quality on the continent, not just in Nigeria.
On the continents.
Not just in Nigeria. So my question is, using Nigeria as a case study, if you're talking about cost, especially exchange rates, how are you, dealing with that to make sure that your products come to Nigeria? You have quality control to avoid, duplicacy outside your organization. So what is your company doing in terms of cost to make sure that you maintain quality at a very cheaper rate compared to
Well, I will tell you, but Mr. Uzo will complete with hands-on because he's the one that does the financial transactions.
On a serious note, though, one of the benefits, because for us, the cost is coming down. We're driving down the costs. Why do I say that? Because our products are going to different countries, Africa-wide. The volumes are impacted, or rather impact the cost. So over a longer period of time, the pricing will keep coming down. Having said that,
and before Uzo goes, so let me hear. Now, in terms of cost, there are many factors that go into cost. When it's to make a lithium-ion battery, you have to buy the cells. Then you have to buy other components, and then to make the battery. And when these are made, they have to be sold to the distributors. Okay, that now can start distributing them to different countries. And then when it lands to the country, they are not immediately sold. They are stored for some time before being sold. Now, between the time that the cells are manufactured to the time it gets to the end user, there are two important things that are happening. The first is every battery cell loses a certain amount of its performance with time. So if you buy a battery that is assembled with cells that are manufactured 5 years ago, it's not at the same thing as the quality, same quality of cells that are manufactured 6 months ago. And the batteries that we get in the market today are manufactured with cells that are produced 3 or 4 years ago. Now that has huge cost implications. One is that the curve of the cells, the price of cells are dropping because of the huge research that's going on electric vehicle batteries. So more performant cells are being produced. As they are being produced, the cost per kilowatt hour of cell is dropping. So you purchased a cell 4 years ago at a very high cost, and then there is if you took that money from the bank, so the cycle, you calculate how much it will add to the initial cost. So how do we beat or maintain our product with cost and quality? We don't assemble and store. We assemble with respect to the usage needs. So let me allow Gozoto to come in here, how he operates with us.
Well, if you come to the issue of costs, for we that are at the end of the market, we install and we represent manufacturers. Right now, what we do is the cost is an issue, but what you do is, what you present to customers is ratio. How does this affect you? There are batteries in the market, are you X amount, say 100 naira. And the warranty for this battery is X, 5 years. Now, okay, let me use a figure. It's 100 naira and it's 5 years. Okay, but you have this other battery. It's called SinaChi. It has a 10 years warranty. But at the end of the day, your cost is 110 naira. So you make a choice. You have a battery that you are being offered a 5-year warranty that is really not there. I don't want to go into the details of what transpires about these warranties, and is 100 naira. And then you have one that is 10 years and has a possibility of 20 years with maintenance. And you have to pay an extra 10 naira to get it. So the choice is yours. Most people, it's reasonable. You would rather go for 10 years that gives you a possibility of 20 because for an extra 10 naira. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, so that does it makes sense, because if you look at scaling, there's
Scale, yes.
So if you're doing 110 divided by 10, what you mean?
You know what
10
you're doing.
10 naira every year, unlike the 20 naira that you're doing for, in fact, that whole expand.
That's not where it is, yes.
So, lastly, I think we've talked about what you do, if you want to come into or trying solutions to problems of Africa's energy sector, especially as the electricity sector. And we've also talked about costing, we've talked about supply chain, we've talked about manufacturing. So let's talk about storage. I know you've talked a little bit about it, but let's just talk about storage. But there is a report by APSIA, that's the Africa Solar Industry Association, that storage since 2017 has been having a very good numbers in terms of adoption. So from 2017 down to 2022, according to the report, Africa represented on average only around 50 megawatts hour per year. But in 2023, the capacity grew to 150 megawatts hour. Last year, it grew to 1,600 MWH. What is driving growth, and what can we do to continue to improve? Because according to APSIA, this is one of the reasons why even adoption in solar adoption is also increasing. The trajectory has changed from solar storage, now storage solar. So how can we continue to drive with this growth and so improve on the adoption?
Personally, I will say that this increase that we are observing corresponds to the evolution in technology and the reduction in price. I just mentioned that the cost of lithium-ion batteries are dropping drastically because of the cells that are being used to assemble them, thanks to the electric vehicle industry that is driving this research and development on lithium-ion batteries. The second explanation to this is that people are now, more and more people are now seeing that solar works. Okay, so more people are now taking advantage of the reduction in the cost of the storage component of the solar installation that used to be 50% and above of this thing. Now comparing it to batteries that now move from 2 years of lifespan to up to 5, moving to 10 years lifespan. So technology is driving this reduction in price and adoption of this solution. And The third point is that this corresponds to what our projection for the future is. I don't know if you had telephone lines on the original telephone lines for this thing that the mobile phones have replaced. It's going to happen in energies. In South Africa, last year, the grid failed. And today, it cannot even take new connections. So the government is encouraging people to go off-grid. And it's going to happen in Nigeria soon, whereby with this development in technology and decrease in the cost of this, you now start seeing individuals now having off-grid solutions that fully meet their need to the point that they will be completely off-grid. That will be the trend in the near future. Okay, so
all right.
Yes, I completely agree with Doc. It's now about 2 or 3 years that the grid failed in SA, and even our clients in SA, any of them are inclined towards the upgrade solutions. And speaking about what Doc was talking about, the cost reduction and the quality of the cells, we had an experience whereby we were to go to South Africa to help and train the people on ground on how to assemble the cells. And because of the urgency of time, we wanted to get the cells that were in the warehouse in Joburg and to put those cells to use for the training. And then our manufacturer asks, she says to Doc, are you going to go to South Africa? Are you going to go to Johannesburg yourself and use those cells to assemble the batteries? And Dr. Agu was like, oh yes, of course. He said, okay, you need to know something though. For starters, the price was slightly higher. Okay, higher, and we asked why? Why are the prices higher? He said, oh, because of the cost of storage and all that. Oh, of course. Okay, fine. And then you need to know that the quality of the cells you will meet on ground in South Africa is very different from what you are used to.
But very different.
Very different from what you are used to.
So sorry, this I thought you would have asked me why does SinaChi in France focusing on energy solutions in Africa? It was a deliberate and strategic choice. We have been emphasizing the fact that Africa has been the dumping ground in Africa. You remember what happened during COVID, where every country was rushing to China to get their face mask. There was one for European countries quality, one could the same different quality for America, and then the same thing is happening when you go to China. For China is now the factory for the whole world, but the quality depends on the region. There's specific quality for Africa, European market, American market, and Africa. So Africa gets what? Okay, so
they don't pay variety.
But we said that we are not going to bring we are not going to enter into that game where Africa will receive what others don't want. So all are the components that enter into SinaChi battery are certified European standards. SinaChi is an European listed, and when we are sourcing out our components and listings, we are sourcing out our components as European company, that these components has to be shipped to Europe. Then it is now for us to give the address of where we want our products to be delivered. We are not just focused in Nigeria. We are present in many African countries because the problem is the same, and we have to be fast. As you can notice, I'm advanced in age, even though when I'm looking at myself, when I'm looking at you, I'm seeing myself just like you. But okay. So I want as quickly as possible to spread this knowledge and know-how across the continent. That change of that mindset of breaking that black box, demystify lithium-ion batteries, demystify solar technology end-to-end, so that Africa can take its place in this technological revolution that is about to come.
So, sorry if I may add something to, the issue of storage. The reason for the exponential growth. Other African countries might have their own reasons, but in Nigeria today, you cannot take out the factor of the cost of energy. If you want to put this straight, you say the fear of band A is becoming the fear of wisdom, or whatever. The beginning of wisdom. There's a lot for people that can muster it. There's a lot of investments in the area of storage geared towards reducing the level of dependence on the grid and possibly going off grid. Because by the time you put the maths together, you will find out that if you can afford it, it is better to go that route than paying for the present cost of energy in our own climate. This is peculiar to Nigeria. Our clients would, when clients send for you or reach out to you, always 9 out of 10 times right now, the calculation is storage vis-a-vis diesel and vis-a-vis cost of electricity. So at the end of the day, for people that can afford it, most of them would drift towards storage so that they can get to a place where they can probably be on their own and reduce their cost of energy.
Maybe just talk. So we have the expendable scientists. They are not all yet the solution that can make the sun shine in the night. And we need electricity in the night time. So storage is a no-brainer. Storage is a must. And so, we identified the fact that the battery is the pain point because of the cost. 50% of the cost of the entire solar off-grid solution. But in addition, is the fact that it is 100% needed. Okay, because it's serving a time frame that the sun is not happening. So we really look.
Oh, okay, thank you very much for all these that you've shared. But before I let you go today, I need to in this question. I was in South Africa last year, where you're talking about partnership with government and work private agencies and bodies. And this year, I've also been set up to talk about mining because obviously some components in making battery are involved in all of this. My question in regards to partnership would be that you're here in Nigeria now. Have you had any partnership with any government agency, say, your exhibition agency, or on private side, the renewable energy at social media? Are you looking to bringing them on board so that it's easier to make this oral?
To be honest, our focus have not been on at that level. We are very much concerned with addressing addressing directly these energy cost of energy problems. We have been invited to serve on some of the government agencies like standard boards, regulatory boards, and things like that. But no formal engagement or partnership has been that we belong to different organizations, industrial groups, and different industrial groups, either in the food chain and all those things. But at that government level, why not to tomorrow? But we want to make direct impact.
So thank you very much. Any last word before calling this a wrap? Anything you feel like your audience needs to know, to not about?
Just to let them know that solar works, okay? And today we are working with commercial and industrial applications. It's true that it's not the same approach. There is this notion of high availability that is required when you start addressing the commercial and the industrial applications. Take, for instance, a medical doctor that is in the theater operating a patient, and the power is coming from the solar. There should be some SLA, high-level availability, that the power doesn't go off just like that. Or somebody that is in a hotel and is in a lift, taking him to his room, and then power goes up. So it's not the same mindset. Okay, so solutions exist for high availability design, and that's also the area of capability development and knowledge transfer. So yes, solar has come to stay and is the future, and Nigeria is endowed with a lot of sun. Africa as a whole is endowed with a lot of sun, for enough for Africa to meet its energy needs purely through solar. And that is the way to go. So have confidence in solar, meet the right partners, and we will drive it through.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I want you wanted to see last words. For me, honest, I'm extremely passionate about the transformation of Africa. Africa has had the short end of the stick for far too long, and yet Africa is that continent that God has himself has blessed tremendously. You know, there is only possibly one non-depleting resource, and that is sunlight. Okay, that sunshine is huge in Africa compared to the rest of the world. And if we don't take the bull by the horn, if we don't grab this access, this resource that is ours, the rest of the world would grab it. They will produce the electricity energy from it, and they will export it to us, and we will pay dearly to get the finished product. It's better that we produce the energy ourselves and be the ones using what we produce and even making it available for the rest of the world. Because if you look across the world, Las Vegas, for instance, uses nuclear for their electricity. The UK, a lot of wind farms are in the UK now. They're even also in the solar sphere as well, even though they don't have as much sunshine as Africa does. And so on and so forth. I mean, France, he was at the nuclear center in Grenoble, and so on and so forth. We in Africa must arise to this time that is ours. That time has come truly. And we Africans must take ownership and make a difference for our own, so that our children and our grandchildren, I know you don't have any grandchildren yet, but you hope so. Yes. Will definitely see a better Africa than the ones out.
And only Africans can develop Africa.
Okay, final word. Like your dog said, I would want to make it clear. Solar works. Installation works. The gap here is the knowledge and the quality of products. When you need solutions, search out for people who have these two requisites. And at the end of the day, you'll be better for it.
All right. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you for sharing insights with us at PDT. My last word is that the next time you probably be putting up a subsidiary should be in Nigeria.
Noted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's all we have for you today. Thank you for watching.